Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and do a few reality shows on the side. See, I did that this time. I don't know what that meant, but I just did that. And today I'm so excited because we're talking about the Real Housewives of Auckland. But hold up, I've got to go back real quick. So, one of the things that I love about social media, you know, whether it's Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, all that other stuff, is that it is global, right? So as opposed to like YouTube or any of those other sites that, you know, will censor their content based on where you live, the social media sites aren't really like that, right? And that's great. So I knew about the Real Housewives of Auckland before Bravo decided to air it, right, in America. So, and that's why I also know about the Real Housewives of Sydney through social media. So, here's what I found out. First of all, I found out that the show has been canceled in New Zealand. So, I'm not pissed off at Bravo for that because that wasn't Bravo's decision, or at least Bravo America. But my question, though, is that if it's been canceled, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful that they're airing it here in the United States. But it seems it's kind of cements my idea that they don't really care about those international franchises here in America because they're just airing a show that is not going anywhere. So even if everyone and their mother in the United States watched this show, it's already been canceled. So there's not going to be a second season no matter what. So that kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit. It makes me go, what the fuck? Okay. Anyways, I just had to say that. I don't understand that. And I was talking to my mom about this today, and she was like, it might have something to do with money. And I'm like, maybe. I don't know. Okay. So let's talk about the Housewives of Auckland, because I'm so excited about this. This is so crazy. Okay. So we meet the Real Housewives of Auckland, right? Which is in New Zealand. For those of you that don't know, Auckland is the capital of New Zealand. And FYI, it's on Saturdays at noon. Again, they get that shit-ass time slot. And this is, real quick, but going back real quick. So my question then is, why aren't they showing the Real Housewives of Cheshire? Because they're on season 6. We just saw season 1, that's it. Now, granted, I don't want to sound too much like a spoiled brat because we have got on all 3 seasons of The Real Housewives of Melbourne. And season 2 was fabulous because it literally aired one day in Australia and then like 2 days later it aired in the United States. I loved that. That was awesome. It was great. But that was just season 2. Season 3 aired a few months later. Anyways, but and I hope that they air season, and not just that, but season 2 and 3 were primetime, which is great. They got a much better time slot than they did. But here's the thing also. Now I noticed that at least in the season 3 that they had funky time slots. Like it was like 8 to 9:07, right? So my question is, why don't they just add special bonus footage just for the United States to make it an hour and a half? It's just a question. I'm just curious. Because obviously we have shown that we like the Real Housewives of Melbourne. So I'm just saying some bonus footage would be nice. Maybe some commentary from former housewives, right? Anyways. Okay, back to the Housewives of Auckland. So the first person we meet is Louise Wallace, who, I'm not going to lie, she might be my new favorite. At least of the Housewives of Auckland. I don't know if she's my favorite across the whole franchise, but she's definitely my favorite in Auckland. And if you don't know who Louise Wallace is, shout out to you, Louise Wallace, because I know you follow me on Instagram. She was the host of The Weakest Link. So in New Zealand, she said, "You are the weakest link. Goodbye." And in America, we had Anne Robinson, the same person they had in England. But she's actually a very trained actress who trained at a drama school in London. And she's kind of she's kind of like the Chica of Auckland, right? She's not causing any trouble. In fact, she's trying to make peace with everyone, but she's still like the grande dame. And I really like her because she's a cool chick, right? And basically the only thing that they said about her was that, she was born into money, which I ain't hating because you're born into money, right? And she's got a lot of staff. She has a lady that just does her ironing. How do you get that job? I'll be your ironer. Here's something else that my mom told me about New Zealand that I didn't know. In New Zealand, there's like 60 million sheep and only like 5 million people. That's like 12 sheep per person. I mean, like, that's kind of crazy because what if the sheep one day decide to just take over and they just take those islands over from New Zealand? I mean, it might happen, right? Okay, so that was the first person we meet. The second person we meet is Julia. Julia, she's a little kooky. She's not crazy, but she's a little kooky. And she was a teen model in New Zealand. That's the other thing, too, is that all these ladies in New Zealand, they're all like, models and work in fashion and stylists and all that, but it's in New Zealand. So again, 5 million people. And to put this into kind of a perspective, Southern California has 14 million people. Okay, that's just half of one state has 14 million people. There's less than half of that in the entire country of New Zealand. So just chew on that for a second. So she was real famous in New Zealand, and she was a Miss USA, Miss Universe New Zealand. And now she's got kids and all this stuff, and her kids are all embarrassed by her. And she had a birthday, and she had a birthday dinner, and she was upset that people weren't paying attention to her. But really, in all fairness to her, if it was your birthday and you're having a dinner, you would want people to at least pay you a little attention, right? That was not going to happen. Here's why. Oh, Angela. Angela comes on this. Oh, no, wait. Before we get to Angela, then we meet Gilda. Gilda's a fierce bitch, okay? Gilda is from Persia. And again, this is why I love those international housewives so much, because you get to see the cultural differences between America and New Zealand. So even though she's from Persia, she is very different than, say, MJ from Shahs of Sunset, or even Asa from Shahs of Sunset, right? So even though they're Persian Americans, where she's a Persian Kiwi, right? It's actually very different. They're very different. And even though she might be like into social media and stuff, I think that she's a cool chick because she pretty much speaks her mind. Like if she doesn't gild the lily too much. Like, she doesn't sugarcoat her shit with a lot of bullshit. A little bit to not make it so, like, very blunt and autistic almost with her. She doesn't do that. So she does sugarcoat it slightly, like powdered sugar. Let's put it that way. She puts powdered sugar on her sassiness. So, okay, so I like Gilda. So then we meet Angela. Okay, now with Melbourne, when Melbourne first came out, I first thought that Jackie was doing a character. Like, I was like, there's no way she's for real. And then 3 seasons later, you realize, no, she really is kind of like that. But she's not as hyped up as she was during season 1. Season 1, she was really on it, but then she kind of, I don't want to say took a back seat, but she kind of toned it down a little bit in seasons 2 and 3. This chick is batshit crazy. Angela is she's crazy. Okay, I thought she was doing a character. Like, she is the type of chick that Molly Shannon would play on Saturday Night Live, right? She's very, Mary Catherine Gallagher, she did this whole thing about how she was meditating and how she likes to be close to nature, and she's throwing up these leaves. And she has this crazy look in her eyes while she's doing it. And I'm going, oh my God, this bitch is crazy. This is going to be problems. This chick is going to be problems. She shows up to meet the other three chicks for this fashion show, and she's just talking, and I want to be the next Oprah. And Gilda just laid it flat out there. She's like, if you want to be Oprah, here's the suggestion. I think you should just listen more to other people, because Oprah doesn't talk about herself that much. She listens and lets other people tell their stories. Louise agreed. She was like, yeah, I thought that, Angela was talking a little bit about herself and it might have rubbed the other girls the wrong way. Oh, you want to talk about Angela rubbing girls the wrong way? We'll get to that in a second. So then we meet Michelle. And oh God, I forget the other chick's name. The other chick is the champagne lady, or the cat lady. I'll get her name next Monday, I promise. I'm sorry. I don't remember her name. It's awful. She was cute though. She's actually really cute. I liked her a lot. Even though she's a little bit older, I don't care. She's really fierce, and she parties with her man, and they open the doors and turn all the lights and have the cops called on them for noise because they like to play the music loud and dance. And I mean, they're really cute. She's really cute. The whole cat lady thing I'm not real big on, but the champagne lady, I'm totally down with that. I mean, I'm just saying, from one alcoholic, Okay, so, all right. So then we meet Michelle. Now, okay, so wait, going back to Crazy Angela. Angela is a model and a stylist, and she is a working model. I shouldn't do that because that's not true. She is a working model, right? But Michelle is a real fucking model. Like, she, walked catwalks for British designers, and she's done her fair share of shit, right? She knows fashion. So at the end of the day, they had this big storyline, and I swear to God, this was the storyline. They had a storyline, and where Angela, this was the first episode 1. This was the big storyline of episode 1. Angela's like, yeah, I'm a model. And Michelle goes, oh, that's great. Are you a plus size model? And you just out of curiosity. And Angela starts crying. Okay, now, let's rewind real quick. I'm kind of offended that she was so offended by being called a plus size model. Shout out to my girl, Lynn Marie, who was my makeup artist on Britney Baby One More Time. She was a plus size model, and she had a very big contract for Harley Davidson. and she was beautiful, right? And she did my makeup. She was doing my makeup. So she was fantastic. I have nothing wrong with plus size models. I think they're fabulous, right? She was like, why would you? So she had this big old dramatic scene outside where Louise and probably Julia, I think, were trying to calm her down. And she comes in and she's like, why would you say I'm a plus size model? She's like, I just asked. I didn't mean anything by it. Because you've got big tits. And most models are anorexic. She's got a point. So anyways, I just can't believe, and really, if your worst problem is that people are calling you a plus size model, I mean, they're calling you still a fucking model. She didn't call into question that she was a model. I mean, ridiculous. Oh my God, it's so ridiculous. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. Thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag RHOAKL or Real Housewife Shit to talk to Real Housewives of Auckland with me. Or you can also hashtag Bold and Beautiful, because I'm doing Bold and Beautiful next. And you can hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your inbox every single day. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for logging on today. Have a wonderful night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.